What if I told you that every single night while your body lies motionless in bed, your soul is actually embarking on the most extraordinary journey you could ever imagine? But before we begin, please hit the like button and let me know where in the world you're watching from today. It's always fascinating seeing who's joining us from around the world. Have you ever woken up from a dream so vivid, so incredibly real, that you questioned which world was actually the dream? Has this ever happened to you, where you felt like you'd just returned from somewhere else entirely, carrying memories that seemed more authentic than your waking reality? If you've experienced this, you're not alone, and what you're about to discover might surprise you in ways you never thought possible. For decades, mainstream science has told us that sleep is simply our body's way of recharging, a biological necessity, where our brain processes the day's information while we rest. But what if this explanation barely scratches the surface of what's really happening? What if sleep isn't just about physical restoration, but something far more profound, a nightly departure of your very soul into dimensions that exist beyond ordinary human perception? This isn't just mystical speculation or wishful thinking. In fact, there's documented evidence from one of the most remarkable psychic researchers in modern history that completely transforms our understanding of what consciousness does during those 8 hours of sleep. Dr. Marcus Reed, working from his research center in Portland, Oregon, spent decades meticulously documenting over 16,000 spiritual readings that revealed something absolutely mind-blowing about the true nature of sleep and consciousness. Stay with me until the end, because what Dr. Reed discovered challenges everything we think we know about dreams, sleep, and the very nature of human consciousness itself. His findings suggest that while your physical body remains anchored to your bed, your soul, your true essence, is actually traveling through spiritual realms, encountering other beings, accessing cosmic knowledge, and participating in experiences that are more real than anything you experience during your waking hours. Think about your most profound dream experiences for a moment. Those dreams where you met deceased loved ones and had conversations that felt absolutely real. Those dreams where you found yourself in places you'd never been, but somehow knew intimately. Those dreams where you received information or insights that you couldn't possibly have known with your conscious mind. What if these weren't dreams at all, but actual memories of your soul's nocturnal adventures? Dr. Reed's documented cases reveal that human consciousness operates on multiple levels simultaneously, and during sleep, something remarkable happens. The soul separates from the physical body and enters what he called the borderland between the physical and spiritual dimensions. This isn't happening to just a select few gifted individuals. According to his research, this occurs with every single person, every single night, whether they remember it or not. Has this ever happened to you, where you've woken up feeling like you've been working all night, even though your body was resting? Where you've had insights or solutions to problems appear in your mind upon waking? Where you've felt emotionally or spiritually different after certain dreams? These experiences might be evidence of your soul's nightly activities in realms beyond the physical world. The implications of this discovery are staggering. If Dr. Reed's findings are accurate, then sleep represents the most spiritually active period of our entire existence. Every night, we're not just resting, we're learning, growing, connecting with higher dimensions of consciousness, and participating in a cosmic education system that most people never even realize exists. What you're about to learn will fundamentally change how you view every dream you've ever had, every night of sleep you've ever experienced, and perhaps most importantly, what it truly means to be human. Now, I want to go even deeper into this transformation of understanding that Dr. Reed's revelations bring to light. When you think about your most vivid dreams, the ones that have stayed with you for years, there's something fundamentally different about them, isn't there? They carry an emotional weight, a sense of reality that ordinary dreams simply don't possess. These aren't random neural firings or your brain's attempt to process daily experiences. According to Dr. Reed's documented findings, these profound dream experiences are actually fragments of memories from your soul's travels through various spiritual realms and dimensional planes. This hidden truth changes everything about how we perceive our nightly experiences. Your soul doesn't just leave your body and wander aimlessly through some ethereal void. Instead, it embarks on purposeful journeys, visiting specific locations in the spiritual realm, interacting with other consciousness, and gathering knowledge that impacts your waking life in ways you've never imagined. The emotional resonance you feel from certain dreams, that inexplicable knowing that something significant just occurred, stems from your soul's authentic experiences in these higher dimensions. Dr. Reed, who became known as the Sleeping Oracle for his extraordinary abilities, developed a methodology that revolutionized our understanding of consciousness research. Working from his research center in Seattle, Washington, he would enter deep meditative trance states that allowed him to access information far beyond normal human perception. His approach wasn't based on guesswork or philosophical speculation, but on systematic documentation of over 16,000 detailed readings that revealed the intricate workings of human consciousness during sleep states. What makes Dr. Reed's work so compelling is the precision and consistency of his revelations. Case after case, reading after reading, a clear pattern emerged showing that human souls follow specific pathways during their nightly journeys. These aren't random wanderings but purposeful missions that serve your spiritual development, emotional healing, and even your everyday decision-making processes. The impact of these nocturnal adventures reaches far beyond the dream state, influencing your intuition, creativity, problem-solving abilities, and spiritual growth in profound ways. Behind the scenes of your sleeping hours, your soul is actively engaged in what can only be described as cosmic education. While your conscious mind rests, your eternal essence is attending classes in wisdom, receiving guidance from spiritual teachers, and accessing information from the universal consciousness that surrounds us all. This journey of discovery happens every single night, creating a continuous cycle of spiritual growth that most people remain completely unaware of. The revelations from Dr. Reed's research suggest that your most meaningful dreams aren't just psychological phenomena, but actual memories being downloaded from your soul's experiences in these higher realms. When you wake up with sudden clarity about a problem you've been facing, or when you feel emotionally transformed after a particularly powerful dream, you're experiencing the real-world impact of your soul's nightly education. Your consciousness is literally being expanded and enriched by these spiritual journeys, creating positive changes in your mindset, relationships, and life path that you might attribute to coincidence or personal growth. Understanding this hidden mechanism of spiritual development opens up incredible possibilities for conscious participation in your soul's journey. Rather than being a passive recipient of whatever dreams happen to occur, you can begin to approach sleep as an opportunity for intentional spiritual growth and cosmic connection. Write in the comments, "I'm ready to remember," if this resonates with your own dream experiences. The true revelation behind Dr. Reed's research lies in understanding that human consciousness isn't the single-layered experience most people imagine it to be. Your mind doesn't simply switch between awake and asleep like a light bulb turning on and off. Instead, consciousness functions simultaneously on multiple levels, creating a complex web of awareness that extends far beyond what you experience during your waking hours. This multidimensional nature of consciousness means that while one part of your awareness focuses on daily decisions and physical reality, other aspects of your being are constantly engaged in spiritual activities and cosmic connections that influence your life in ways you've never considered. Sleep serves as the gateway that allows your soul to fully access these higher dimensional experiences without the interference of your rational, analytical mind. During those crucial hours when your body rests, your consciousness expands into realms of existence that operate according to different laws of reality. The impact of this expansion reaches into every aspect of your waking life, shaping your intuition, creativity, emotional responses, and even the seemingly random opportunities that appear in your path. One of Dr. Reed's most groundbreaking discoveries came through documented case 68542, where he revealed something that transforms our entire understanding of what happens during sleep. Through his deep trance work, he uncovered that sleep creates access to what he termed the borderland, a unique dimensional space that exists between physical reality and pure spiritual dimensions. This borderland isn't just a theoretical concept, but an actual location where souls conduct important work that affects both the spiritual and physical planes of existence. Behind the scenes of your sleeping hours, your soul enters this borderland carrying specific missions and purposes. Some souls work as spiritual helpers, assisting other consciousness who are transitioning between life and death. Others engage in healing work, sending positive energy to people in need across the physical world. Many souls use this time for advanced learning, accessing wisdom and knowledge that would be impossible to obtain through normal physical means. The journey your soul takes through this borderland affects your mindset, relationships, and life trajectory in profound ways that you experience as improved intuition, sudden insights, or unexpected positive changes in your circumstances. The borderland represents a meeting ground where the physical and spiritual worlds intersect, allowing for an exchange of information and energy that benefits both realms. When you wake up feeling refreshed not just physically, but emotionally and spiritually renewed, you're experiencing the positive effects of your soul's work in this dimensional space. The transformation that occurs during these nightly journeys accumulates over time, gradually elevating your consciousness and expanding your capacity for joy, wisdom, and spiritual connection. What makes this revelation particularly fascinating is that your soul's activities in the borderland aren't random or accidental. They're purposefully chosen, based on your spiritual development, life lessons you need to learn, and the unique contribution your consciousness can make to the greater cosmic order. Every night, your soul receives assignments and opportunities that serve both your personal growth and the collective good of all consciousness. The decisions your soul makes in this borderland ripple out into your physical reality, creating synchronicities, meaningful encounters, and opportunities that align with your highest spiritual purpose. This understanding completely reframes the importance of sleep in your life. Rather than viewing those 8 hours as downtime or necessary biological maintenance, you can begin to appreciate sleep as your most spiritually active period, when your consciousness expands beyond all earthly limitations and engages with the infinite possibilities of spiritual existence. Write in the comments, "I feel this happening," if you've experienced unexplained positive changes after powerful dreams. Now I want to reveal something even more remarkable about the hidden structure behind your soul's nightly activities. Through reading 17.6.119, Dr. Reed uncovered a truth that fundamentally changes how we understand the purpose and organization of our sleep experiences. Your soul doesn't simply drift aimlessly through spiritual dimensions like a leaf blown by cosmic winds. Instead, it follows specific patterns and schedules that are precisely calibrated to your individual spiritual development and karmic purposes. This revelation means that every single night, your consciousness is engaging in a carefully orchestrated journey designed to accelerate your personal transformation and spiritual evolution. The impact of this organized approach to soul travel extends far beyond random spiritual experiences. Your soul carries what can only be described as a nightly agenda, a purposeful itinerary that addresses your current life challenges, unresolved emotional patterns, and the specific lessons your consciousness needs to master in this incarnation. The decisions your soul makes about where to travel and what experiences to seek during sleep directly influence your mindset, relationships, problem-solving abilities, and overall life trajectory in ways that appear as intuitive insights, sudden clarity, or unexpected positive shifts in your circumstances. Behind the scenes of this cosmic education system, Dr. Reed identified 3 distinct spiritual realms that souls visit during their nocturnal journeys. Each realm serves different aspects of spiritual education and growth, creating a comprehensive curriculum that addresses every dimension of human consciousness development. These aren't abstract theoretical concepts, but actual dimensional spaces where your soul engages in specific types of learning, healing, and service that benefit both your personal evolution and the greater good of all existence. The journey between these three realms follows patterns that are uniquely tailored to where you are in your spiritual development. A soul just beginning its awakening process might spend most of its time in the first realm, focusing on basic spiritual principles and emotional healing. More advanced souls might divide their time between all three realms, engaging in complex spiritual work that requires sophisticated understanding and elevated consciousness. The beautiful truth is that your soul automatically knows exactly which realm will provide the most beneficial experiences for your current stage of growth. What makes this revelation particularly transformative is understanding that your soul's nightly agenda isn't fixed or predetermined. It evolves based on your conscious choices, spiritual practices, and the intentions you set during your waking hours. When you make decisions aligned with love, wisdom, and service to others, your soul gains access to higher levels within each realm, unlocking more advanced spiritual education and more profound healing opportunities. The transformation that occurs through this elevated access manifests in your daily life as increased intuition, enhanced creativity, deeper compassion, and a stronger sense of life purpose. The three realms operate like a cosmic university system, with each dimensional space offering specialized courses in different aspects of consciousness development. Your soul moves between these realms with the fluidity of a student attending different classes, sometimes focusing intensively on one particular area of growth, other times sampling experiences from multiple realms to create a well-rounded spiritual education. The impact of this multidimensional learning process accumulates over time, gradually expanding your consciousness and preparing you for greater levels of spiritual service and personal fulfillment. Understanding this hidden curriculum of nightly soul education empowers you to participate more consciously in your own spiritual development. Rather than viewing sleep as passive downtime, you can begin to appreciate it as your most important daily opportunity for cosmic learning and consciousness expansion. Write in the comments, "My soul knows the way," if you're beginning to recognize patterns in your own spiritual growth through dreams. The true power of Dr. Reid's revelations becomes crystal clear when we examine real-world cases that demonstrate how profoundly these nightly spiritual journeys impact people's lives. Consider the transformation experienced by Sarah Mitchell, a woman from Denver, Colorado, who consulted Dr. Reid in 1926 about chronic nightmares that had been tormenting her for months. Her sleep had become a source of anxiety rather than rest, filled with disturbing visions and encounters that left her exhausted and fearful of closing her eyes each night. Through his deep trance readings, Dr. Reid uncovered the hidden truth behind Sarah's distressing sleep experiences. Her soul wasn't being attacked by random nightmare imagery or suffering from some psychological disorder. Instead, her consciousness was being called to perform crucial spiritual work, helping traumatized spirits who had died suddenly and were unable to find their way to higher realms. These earthbound souls, confused and frightened by their transition from physical life, were reaching out to Sarah's compassionate spirit for guidance and assistance in crossing over to the light. Behind the scenes of what appeared to be a sleep disorder, Sarah's soul was actually serving as a spiritual bridge builder, using her natural empathic abilities to comfort and guide lost souls toward their rightful place in the afterlife. The impact of this revelation completely transformed her mindset about her nightly experiences. Rather than viewing herself as a victim of disturbing dreams, she began to understand her role as a spiritual helper, someone whose consciousness was evolved enough to assist others in their most vulnerable moments of transition. This case illuminates a hidden truth that challenges everything mainstream medicine tells us about sleep disturbances. Many conditions labeled as sleep disorders, insomnia, or chronic nightmares aren't actually medical conditions at all. They're intense spiritual encounters that individuals don't understand or recognize properly. When someone experiences persistent sleep difficulties, restless nights, or emotionally charged dreams, their soul might be engaged in advanced spiritual work that their conscious mind interprets as disturbance rather than service. The journey toward understanding this spiritual dimension of sleep problems requires a complete shift in perspective. Instead of immediately reaching for medical solutions or viewing sleep disturbances as something wrong with your brain chemistry, consider the possibility that your consciousness is being called to participate in cosmic healing work. Your soul might be helping lost spirits find peace, receiving important spiritual education, or processing karmic patterns that need resolution for your continued evolution. The decisions you make about how to interpret and respond to unusual sleep experiences can dramatically impact your spiritual development and overall well-being. When you approach sleep disturbances with curiosity rather than fear, seeking spiritual understanding rather than just symptom suppression, you open doorways to profound personal transformation and expanded consciousness. Many people who initially suffered from what they believed were sleep disorders later discovered they possessed natural healing abilities, psychic gifts, or calling to spiritual service that manifested first through their dream experiences. Sarah's transformation from nightmare victim to conscious spiritual helper illustrates the incredible potential that lies hidden within what we might initially perceive as sleep problems. Once she understood the true nature of her nightly experiences, she was able to work consciously with her spiritual guides to make her assistance to crossing souls more effective while ensuring her own energy remained protected and balanced. Write in the comments, "I understand now," if you're beginning to see your own sleep experiences in a completely new light. Now, I want to reveal the profound details of what Dr. Reed discovered about the first realm your soul visits during its nightly journeys. Through reading 3629, he uncovered that this initial dimensional space contains recently deceased spirits who haven't fully transitioned to their eternal home in the higher spiritual realms. This isn't some abstract theological concept, but an actual location where your soul performs some of the most meaningful and impactful work of your entire existence. The transformation that occurs when you understand this hidden truth about soul travel fundamentally changes how you view death, grief, and your connection to loved ones who have passed away. Your soul serves as a bridge between worlds, offering assistance to these transitioning spirits while also receiving messages, guidance, and healing energy from departed family members and friends. The impact of these encounters extends far beyond the dream state, influencing your emotional healing, decision-making processes, and overall sense of connection to the eternal nature of love and consciousness. Behind the scenes of what appears to be ordinary sleep, your soul is engaged in profound acts of service and reunion. When recently deceased individuals find themselves confused about their transition from physical life, still attached to earthly concerns or relationships, your soul acts as a gentle guide, helping them understand their new state of existence and encouraging them to move toward the light of higher spiritual realms. This work requires tremendous compassion and spiritual maturity, which is why not every soul is called to this particular type of service during their nightly journeys. The revelations about dreams involving deceased loved ones completely reframe our understanding of grief and spiritual connection. When you dream of a grandmother who passed away years ago, or when you have vivid conversations with a departed friend that feel absolutely real, these aren't just psychological projections or wishful thinking. These encounters represent actual spiritual meetings occurring in the borderland between life and afterlife dimensions, where consciousness transcends the limitations of physical existence. Your mindset about these dream visits can dramatically influence their frequency and clarity. When you approach such experiences with openness and gratitude rather than skepticism or fear, you create energetic conditions that make these spiritual reunions more accessible and meaningful. The departed souls often have important messages to share, unfinished emotional business to resolve, or simply want to reassure you that their love continues beyond physical death. The journey of understanding these spiritual encounters transforms the entire grieving process, from one of permanent loss to one of continued connection through different dimensional channels. Rather than viewing death as an absolute ending, you begin to recognize it as a transition that allows for new forms of communication and relationship. The decisions you make about staying open to these spiritual connections can provide profound comfort, healing, and guidance that helps you navigate life's challenges with greater wisdom and peace. What makes these revelations particularly powerful is recognizing that your soul's work in the first realm serves multiple purposes simultaneously. While helping transitioning spirits find their way to higher dimensions, you're also receiving advanced spiritual education about the nature of consciousness, death, and eternal existence. This cosmic curriculum prepares your own soul for its eventual transition, while deepening your understanding of life's true purpose and meaning. The impact of participating consciously in this spiritual service extends into every aspect of your waking life, enhancing your compassion, intuition, and ability to provide comfort to others who are grieving or facing their own mortality. Write in the comments, "Love never dies," if you've experienced meaningful dreams with departed loved ones that felt completely real. The most remarkable aspect of your soul's nightly journeys becomes evident when we examine the sophisticated guidance system that operates behind the scenes of these spiritual adventures. Through reading 35471, Dr. Reed revealed that your soul doesn't navigate these higher dimensions alone or without protection. Celestial beings, what many traditions call angels or spirit guides, serve as spiritual teachers and protectors during these nocturnal travels, ensuring your consciousness remains safe while exploring realms that operate according to entirely different laws of existence. These angelic guides understand the intricate map of spiritual dimensions and know exactly which experiences will most benefit your current stage of development. The impact of their guidance extends far beyond simple protection, as they actively provide instruction through symbolic dreams that your conscious mind can interpret and apply to your daily life. The transformation that occurs through this celestial mentorship influences your decision-making processes, emotional responses, and spiritual insights in ways that appear as enhanced intuition, sudden clarity about life direction, or unexpected solutions to complex problems. The journey through spiritual realms under angelic guidance follows patterns designed to maximize your consciousness expansion while preventing any negative encounters that could disturb your energy or create fear around spiritual exploration. These celestial teachers understand that your soul's education must be gradual and supportive, building upon previous experiences to create a solid foundation for more advanced spiritual work. Their protection allows your consciousness to venture into dimensions that would otherwise be too intense or overwhelming for an unguided soul to navigate safely. Now, I want to reveal something even more extraordinary about the destinations your soul visits during these guided journeys. Through reading 1854, Dr. Reed uncovered that advanced souls travel to spiritual dimensions associated with different planets in our solar system, each offering specialized types of spiritual education and consciousness development. This isn't science fiction or wishful thinking, but documented evidence of a cosmic university system that operates beyond the physical limitations of space and time. The hidden truth about these planetary sojourns transforms our understanding of how spiritual education works on a universal scale. Each planetary dimension vibrates at specific frequencies that correspond to different aspects of consciousness development. Your soul's decisions about which planetary realm to visit are based on the particular spiritual qualities you need to strengthen or the karmic lessons you're ready to master in your current incarnation. Behind the scenes of what appears to be ordinary sleep, your consciousness is actually attending specialized courses in cosmic wisdom. The Mars dimension focuses on developing spiritual courage, leadership abilities, and the strength to overcome obstacles in your spiritual path. Venus realms teach advanced lessons in unconditional love, artistic creativity, and harmonious relationships with all forms of consciousness. Mercury dimensions enhance communication skills, mental clarity, and the ability to receive and transmit spiritual knowledge effectively. The impact of these planetary educational experiences manifests in your waking life as natural abilities and personality traits that seem to emerge spontaneously. Someone who regularly visits the Jupiter sojourn during soul travel might find themselves naturally drawn to teaching, philosophy, or expanding other people's understanding of spiritual principles. A soul that frequents the Saturn realm often develops exceptional discipline, organizational skills, and deep understanding of karmic principles and spiritual responsibility. What makes these revelations particularly fascinating is understanding that your soul's choice of planetary dimensions isn't random, but carefully coordinated with your life purpose and spiritual curriculum. Write in the comments, "I'm learning while I sleep," if you've noticed new abilities or insights appearing in your life seemingly out of nowhere. The profound reality of these planetary educational journeys becomes undeniably clear when we examine the documented transformation experienced by Thomas Anderson, a businessman from Phoenix, Arizona, who received a life reading from Dr. Reed in 1930. Thomas had consulted Dr. Reed about his frustrating inability to advance in his career, despite having solid business knowledge and years of experience. He felt stuck in middle management, lacking the confidence and presence that natural leaders seem to possess effortlessly. Through his deep trance state, Dr. Reed revealed something that completely shifted Thomas's understanding of his nightly experiences. His soul had been regularly traveling to the Mars dimensions during sleep, where he was receiving intensive training in spiritual leadership, courage development, and the inner strength necessary to guide others through challenging situations. The impact of this cosmic education was already beginning to filter into his conscious personality, though Thomas had no awareness of the spiritual curriculum his soul was attending each night. Behind the scenes of what appeared to be ordinary dreams, Thomas's consciousness was participating in advanced leadership workshops, conducted by spiritual teachers in the Mars realm. These weren't theoretical lessons but practical training experiences where his soul learned to navigate complex situations, make difficult decisions under pressure, and inspire confidence in others during times of uncertainty. The transformation occurring at the soul level was gradually reshaping his mindset, emotional responses, and natural instincts in ways that would soon manifest dramatically in his professional life. Within 6 months of receiving this revelation, Thomas found himself naturally stepping into leadership roles that had previously intimidated him. During a company crisis when senior management was paralyzed by indecision, he spontaneously took charge, displaying the exact qualities of calm authority and strategic thinking that he had been developing through his Mars sojourn experiences. His colleagues were amazed by this sudden emergence of leadership capabilities that seemed to appear from nowhere, but Thomas now understood these abilities were the direct result of his soul's nightly education in the planetary dimensions. The hidden truth revealed through reading 2171-1 explains the sophisticated system behind these planetary educational experiences. Souls don't randomly wander between different dimensional realms, but instead select specific planetary dimensions to visit based on the spiritual qualities they need to develop in their current incarnation and life purpose. This conscious selection process occurs at levels of awareness far deeper than your everyday thinking mind, guided by your soul's innate wisdom about what experiences will most effectively serve your spiritual evolution and earthly mission. The journey of understanding this selection process transforms how you view your own spiritual development and life circumstances. When you face repeated challenges in particular areas of your life, whether in relationships, career advancement, creative expression, or emotional healing, your soul is likely attending specialized courses in the planetary dimensions that correspond to those exact growth areas. The decisions your soul makes about which cosmic classrooms to attend directly influence the opportunities, people, and situations that appear in your waking life. This revelation empowers you to approach life's difficulties with a completely different mindset, recognizing that challenges often indicate areas where your soul is receiving advanced spiritual training. Rather than viewing obstacles as random misfortune or personal failings, you can begin to appreciate them as practical applications of the cosmic education your consciousness is receiving during its nightly travels through the planetary sojourns. Write in the comments, "My challenges make sense now," if you're beginning to see patterns between your life lessons and spiritual growth. The journey through the Venus sojourn represents one of the most transformative educational experiences available to human consciousness during its nightly travels. This celestial dimension operates as an advanced academy, where souls receive intensive training in unconditional love, artistic beauty, and the creation of harmonious relationships between all forms of consciousness and creation. The impact of Venus sojourn education extends far beyond romantic relationships, fundamentally reshaping how your soul perceives and interacts with every aspect of existence. Behind the scenes of your Venus dimension experiences, your consciousness learns to recognize the divine beauty that permeates all of creation, from the smallest flower to the most complex human personality. This spiritual education transforms your mindset about conflict, helping you see beyond surface-level disagreements to the underlying unity that connects all beings. The decisions you make in relationships, creative endeavors, and daily interactions begin to reflect this deeper understanding of universal love and harmony, creating a ripple effect that brings more peace and beauty into your immediate environment. The hidden truth about Venus sojourn training reveals itself through the spontaneous emergence of artistic abilities, enhanced empathy, and a natural gift for creating beauty in your surroundings. People who regularly attend these cosmic love workshops often find themselves drawn to creative expression they never considered before, or they discover an unusual ability to mediate conflicts and bring harmony to tense situations. The transformation occurs so gradually that it feels like a natural unfolding of personality, rather than the result of intensive spiritual education. Now, I want to explore the equally fascinating revelations about the Mercury dimensions, where souls receive specialized training in communication abilities, mental faculties, and the transmission of spiritual knowledge between different levels of consciousness. The Mercury sojourn operates like a cosmic communication university, where your soul learns not just how to express ideas clearly, but how to serve as a bridge between the spiritual and physical realms through enhanced mental capabilities. The journey through Mercury dimensions fundamentally upgrades your consciousness's ability to receive, process, and transmit information from higher spiritual sources. This isn't simply about becoming more articulate or intellectually sharp, though those improvements often manifest as beneficial side effects. The real transformation involves developing your soul's capacity to serve as a clear channel for spiritual wisdom, allowing divine insights to flow through your mind and speech in ways that inspire and educate others. Behind the scenes of Mercury sojourn experiences, your consciousness learns to fine-tune its receptivity to subtle spiritual frequencies, while simultaneously developing the ability to translate cosmic knowledge into language and concepts that others can understand and apply. The impact of this training appears in your daily life as enhanced intuition about what to say in challenging situations, unexpected insights about complex problems, and a natural ability to explain spiritual concepts in ways that resonate with people from all backgrounds. The hidden truth about Mercury dimension education is that it prepares certain souls to serve as spiritual teachers, writers, counselors, or communicators who can bridge the gap between ancient wisdom and modern understanding. Your soul's decisions about attending Mercury sojourns often correlate with a life purpose that involves sharing spiritual knowledge, whether through formal teaching, creative expression, or simply being someone others naturally turn to for guidance and clarity. Write in the comments, "I'm becoming a bridge," if you've noticed your ability to help others understand complex ideas or resolve conflicts naturally improving. The journey through Jupiter dimensions represents perhaps the most expansive educational experience available to evolving souls during their nocturnal travels. Jupiter realms operate as cosmic universities, where consciousness receives advanced training in universal wisdom, cosmic understanding, and the expansion of awareness beyond all earthly limitations. The transformation that occurs through Jupiter sojourn education fundamentally reshapes your soul's perspective on existence itself, replacing narrow human viewpoints with sweeping cosmic comprehension that influences every decision you make. Behind the scenes of Jupiter dimension experiences, your consciousness learns to perceive the interconnected nature of all existence, understanding how individual actions ripple through the fabric of reality to affect countless other beings across space and time. This hidden truth about universal connection transforms your mindset from self-centered thinking to cosmic awareness, where every choice you make considers its impact on the greater good of all consciousness. The journey through these wisdom realms develops what can only be described as divine perspective, allowing you to see life's challenges and opportunities from the same elevated viewpoint that spiritual masters have accessed throughout history. The impact of Jupiter's sojourn education manifests in your daily life as natural wisdom that seems to emerge from nowhere, an intuitive understanding of complex philosophical concepts, and an ability to see solutions to problems that escape others entirely. People who regularly attend these cosmic wisdom workshops often find themselves naturally drawn to teaching, counseling, or leadership roles, where they can share their expanded understanding with others who are ready to grow spiritually. Now, I want to reveal the profound revelations about Saturn dimensions, where souls receive some of the most intensive and transformative spiritual education available in the cosmic curriculum. Saturn sojourns offer specialized training in spiritual discipline, karmic balance, and deep understanding of how actions and consequences weave together across multiple lifetimes to create the tapestry of spiritual evolution. The hidden truth about Saturn realm experiences is that they serve as cosmic accountability workshops, where souls learn to take full responsibility for their spiritual development and the effects of their choices on others. This isn't punishment or harsh judgment, but rather compassionate education that helps consciousness understand the precise mechanisms through which spiritual growth occurs. The journey through Saturn dimensions develops unshakable inner discipline, moral clarity, and the ability to make difficult decisions based on spiritual principles rather than immediate gratification. Behind the scenes of Saturn's sojourn training, your soul learns to recognize karmic patterns that have been repeating across multiple incarnations, understanding exactly which lessons need to be mastered to break free from limiting cycles. The transformation that occurs through this education appears in your life as increased personal responsibility, better judgment about relationships and opportunities, and a natural ability to persevere through challenges that would defeat less spiritually disciplined individuals. The impact of Saturn dimension education extends far beyond personal development, as souls who complete this intensive training often become spiritual anchors in their communities, providing stability and wisdom during times of collective challenge or uncertainty. Write in the comments, "I accept responsibility," if you're recognizing how your own choices have shaped your spiritual journey and current circumstances. Now, I want to reveal the most extraordinary dimension of soul travel that Dr. Reed documented, one that fundamentally transforms our understanding of consciousness, memory, and the eternal journey of spiritual evolution. Through reading 38114, he discovered that highly developed souls can access what he termed the Akashic Records during their nightly journeys, a cosmic library containing the complete records of every soul's journey through all incarnations and spiritual experiences across time and space. The hidden truth about Akashic Records access represents the ultimate level of spiritual education available through soul travel. This isn't simply reading about spiritual concepts or receiving symbolic instruction through dreams. Instead, your consciousness gains direct access to the universal database that contains every thought, emotion, action, and experience that has ever occurred throughout all of creation. The impact of this level of cosmic awareness fundamentally reshapes your understanding of who you truly are and the magnificent scope of your soul's eternal journey. Behind the scenes of what appears to be ordinary sleep, certain advanced souls are literally downloading information from the universe's master archive, accessing knowledge about their past incarnations, future possibilities, and the intricate web of relationships that connect all consciousness throughout eternity. The transformation that occurs through Akashic access manifests as sudden understanding of your life purpose, inexplicable knowledge about historical periods you've never studied, and profound insights into karmic patterns that have been shaping your experiences across multiple lifetimes. The profound reality of Akashic Records access becomes undeniably clear when we examine the documented experience of Rebecca Thompson, a woman from Boston, Massachusetts, who consulted Dr. Reed in 1934 about recurring dreams that had been puzzling her for months. Rebecca found herself repeatedly experiencing vivid dreams, where she lived as a temple priestess in ancient Greece, complete with detailed knowledge of religious ceremonies, architectural features, and even specific Greek phrases that she had never encountered in her waking life. These weren't vague impressions or symbolic imagery, but precise, detailed memories that felt more real than her current life experiences. Rebecca could describe the texture of marble columns, the scent of burning incense during sacred rituals, and the emotional atmosphere of ancient Greek spiritual practices with startling accuracy. Her dreams included conversations in ancient Greek dialects and knowledge of historical events that wouldn't be discovered by archaeologists until decades later. Through his deep trance reading, Dr. Reed confirmed that Rebecca's soul was accessing the Akashic Records during sleep, specifically reviewing her past incarnation as a temple priestess in ancient Greece. These weren't random dreams or psychological projections, but actual soul memories being downloaded from the cosmic consciousness. The journey her soul was taking each night involved traveling to the Universal Library and accessing the complete record of her Greek lifetime, bringing back fragments of that experience as vivid dreams. The decisions Rebecca made after understanding the true nature of her experiences completely transformed her life path. She began studying ancient Greek culture and spirituality, eventually becoming a respected researcher whose insights about ancient religious practices seemed to come from first-hand knowledge rather than academic study. Write in the comments, "I remember other lives," if you've experienced dreams or knowledge that seem to come from experiences you've never had in this lifetime. The profound implications of soul memory downloads fundamentally challenge everything we think we know about the nature of dreams and memory itself. These experiences that Rebecca and countless others have documented through Dr. Reed's work weren't random neural firings or psychological projections bubbling up from the subconscious mind. They were actual soul memories being downloaded from universal consciousness during deep sleep states and spiritual travel, representing direct access to experiences that occurred in different time periods, different bodies, and different incarnations of the same eternal soul. The transformation that occurs when you understand this hidden truth about memory and consciousness expands your entire concept of personal identity. Rather than viewing yourself as someone who began existing at birth and will cease existing at death, you begin to recognize yourself as an eternal being whose current lifetime represents just one chapter in an infinite story of spiritual evolution. The impact of this expanded awareness influences every decision you make, every relationship you form, and every challenge you face, because you understand that your soul has been developing wisdom and abilities across countless incarnations. Behind the scenes of what appears to be ordinary dreaming, your consciousness is actually accessing a cosmic database that contains not just your own soul's experiences, but the collective wisdom of all consciousness throughout history. The journey your soul takes to retrieve these memories requires tremendous spiritual development and energetic refinement, which is why Akashic Records access typically occurs only after years of other types of soul travel have prepared your consciousness for handling such profound downloads of universal knowledge. Now, I want to reveal something equally important about why most people don't remember these extraordinary spiritual experiences clearly. Through reading 394-137, Dr. Reed discovered that souls bring back only fragments of their profound spiritual journeys as dreams, and these fragments must be translated into symbols that the conscious mind can partially comprehend and remember. This limitation isn't a flaw in the system, but rather a protective mechanism that prevents overwhelming your everyday awareness with cosmic experiences that could destabilize your ability to function in physical reality. The hidden truth about dream fragments explains why your most meaningful spiritual experiences often come through in symbolic form rather than literal detail. Your soul has to compress hours of cosmic education, detailed conversations with spiritual teachers, and complex multidimensional experiences into brief symbolic sequences that your conscious mind can process without becoming completely disoriented. The decisions your soul makes about which fragments to preserve as dreams depend on what information will be most beneficial for your current life circumstances and spiritual development needs. Behind the scenes of this translation process, your soul acts as a sophisticated editor, carefully selecting the most important insights from its nightly adventures and encoding them into symbolic dreams that serve as practical guidance for your waking life. The impact of understanding this process transforms how you approach dream interpretation, shifting from viewing dreams as random psychological phenomena to recognizing them as carefully curated spiritual messages designed specifically for your growth and guidance. Write in the comments, "I'm receiving guidance," if you're beginning to see patterns and messages in your dreams that seem specifically designed to help you navigate your current life situations. The revelations from Dr. Reid's research take on even greater significance when we examine his prophetic insights about the future evolution of human consciousness. Through reading 7-23, he made a remarkable prediction that by the early 21st century, more people would begin developing conscious awareness during their soul's nocturnal spiritual journeys. This wasn't just wishful thinking or mystical speculation, but a documented prophecy based on his understanding of humanity's accelerating spiritual development and the cosmic forces influencing our collective consciousness evolution. The transformation that Dr. Reid foresaw involves a fundamental shift in how human awareness operates during sleep states. Rather than remaining completely unconscious while the soul travels through spiritual dimensions, increasing numbers of people would begin retaining memory and even conscious participation in these extraordinary journeys. The impact of this evolutionary leap extends far beyond personal spiritual development, representing a species-wide awakening that could fundamentally change how humanity understands consciousness, death, and our connection to higher dimensional realities. Behind the scenes of what appears to be gradual social change, we're actually witnessing the fulfillment of Dr. Reid's prophecy in real time. The decisions more people are making to explore meditation, spiritual practices, and consciousness expansion are creating energetic conditions that support this evolutionary shift. Your own journey toward greater spiritual awareness contributes to this collective transformation, as each individual who awakens to their soul's nightly adventures helps anchor higher consciousness on Earth. The hidden truth about this consciousness evolution becomes evident when we examine the dramatic increase in lucid dreaming and out-of-body experiences, reported by people from all walks of life. These phenomena aren't random psychological curiosities, but represent clear evidence of humanity's evolving spiritual consciousness and expanding dimensional awareness. The increasing reports of individuals who maintain conscious awareness while their soul travels through spiritual realms demonstrates that Dr. Reid's predictions about 21st century consciousness development are manifesting exactly as he foresaw. The journey toward conscious soul travel represents more than personal spiritual achievement. It signals humanity's preparation for a new phase of existence where the boundaries between physical and spiritual reality become increasingly permeable. The revelations about this evolutionary process suggest that what previous generations experienced as rare mystical experiences are becoming accessible to ordinary people who approach spiritual development with sincere intention and consistent practice. Now, I want to explore how this consciousness evolution is being accelerated by planetary forces that Dr. Reid identified in his most advanced readings. The transformation occurring in human awareness isn't happening in isolation, but is being supported by cosmic influences that are fundamentally altering the vibrational frequency of Earth itself, creating unprecedented opportunities for spiritual awakening and dimensional travel. The impact of understanding this larger cosmic context empowers you to participate consciously in humanity's greatest spiritual transformation, recognizing that your personal journey toward soul travel awareness serves not just your individual evolution, but contributes to the collective awakening of our entire species. Write in the comments, "I'm part of the awakening," if you've experienced lucid dreams or moments of conscious awareness that felt like glimpses into higher dimensions of reality. The cosmic forces supporting humanity's consciousness evolution become crystal clear when we examine Dr. Reid's most advanced revelations about the planetary transformation occurring during our lifetime. Through reading 1352-12, he revealed that Earth itself is transitioning to higher vibrational frequencies, a massive planetary shift that is awakening dormant spiritual abilities in individuals across the globe, while simultaneously thinning the dimensional veils that have previously separated physical and spiritual realities. This hidden truth about planetary vibrational changes explains why so many people are suddenly experiencing spiritual phenomena that would have been rare or impossible in previous generations. The transformation occurring at Earth's energetic level is creating optimal conditions for consciousness expansion, making soul travel experiences more accessible and lucid, dreaming more common. The impact of this planetary shift extends far beyond individual spiritual development, fundamentally altering the fabric of reality itself and opening doorways to dimensions that have remained largely hidden from human awareness for centuries. Behind the scenes of what appears to be gradual social change, we're actually witnessing a massive cosmic upgrade that is affecting every living being on the planet. The decisions you make about embracing spiritual practices and remaining open to expanded consciousness are being amplified by these planetary energies, creating accelerated growth opportunities that previous generations couldn't have imagined. Your journey toward conscious soul travel is being supported by cosmic forces that are actively working to help humanity evolve into a more spiritually aware species. The revelations about Earth's vibrational transformation reveal why sleep is becoming an increasingly powerful, dimensional bridge for ordinary people. The boundary between physical and spiritual realms is becoming more permeable with each passing year, allowing more individuals to consciously cross dimensional barriers during their nightly sleep experiences. This isn't happening randomly but represents a carefully orchestrated cosmic process designed to prepare humanity for a new phase of existence where spiritual and physical realities integrate more completely. The journey across these thinning dimensional boundaries offers unprecedented opportunities for spiritual education, healing, and connection with higher consciousness. What previous mystics and spiritual adepts achieved through years of intensive training and meditation is becoming naturally accessible to people who approach sleep with conscious intention and spiritual awareness. The transformation occurring in the dimensional structure of reality means that your bedroom is literally becoming a launching pad for extraordinary spiritual adventures that can profoundly impact your waking life. Now, I want to share with you a documented healing case that demonstrates the practical power of understanding and working consciously with these dimensional shifts during sleep. The revelations from this case prove that comprehending your soul's nightly journeys isn't just philosophical curiosity, but represents spiritual technology that can heal your life at the deepest levels, addressing emotional, mental, and even physical conditions through cosmic consciousness work. The impact of this healing approach extends far beyond treating symptoms, offering complete transformation of the underlying spiritual imbalances that create disease and dysfunction in the first place. Write in the comments, "I'm ready to heal," if you're feeling called to work more consciously with the spiritual dimensions of sleep for your own healing and transformation. The documented healing case of Michael Davis from Miami, Florida, reveals the profound therapeutic potential of understanding your soul's nightly journeys and learning to work consciously with spiritual energies during sleep. Michael consulted Dr. Reid in 1937 after suffering from chronic depression and anxiety that had persisted for over 2 years despite conventional medical treatments. His condition had progressively worsened, leaving him feeling drained of life force and unable to find joy in activities that had previously brought him happiness. Through his deep trance reading, Dr. Reid uncovered the hidden truth behind Michael's emotional struggles. His soul had been inadvertently visiting lower spiritual realms during sleep, where he encountered negative entities that were systematically draining his spiritual energy and affecting his physical and emotional well-being. The transformation from victim to empowered spiritual practitioner began when Michael understood that his depression wasn't a random chemical imbalance, but the direct result of his soul's exposure to spiritually toxic environments during his nightly travels. Behind the scenes of what appeared to be a medical condition, Michael's consciousness was being depleted by entities that fed on human life force energy. The journey toward healing required him to learn specific spiritual protection practices that would elevate his soul's vibration during sleep, ensuring that his nightly travels took him to higher, more beneficial spiritual realms rather than the lower dimensions where parasitic beings resided. The revelations about lower realm encounters illuminate a hidden aspect of soul travel that can profoundly impact mental health, emotional stability, and physical vitality. Some souls, particularly those who are naturally sensitive or psychically gifted, can find themselves visiting spiritual dimensions populated by confused, angry, or deliberately malevolent entities that seek to drain energy from living beings. The impact of these encounters manifests as chronic fatigue, depression, anxiety, nightmares, and a general sense of being spiritually attacked or depleted. The decisions Michael made about implementing Dr. Reed's spiritual protection recommendations completely transformed his life within 3 months. Rather than remaining a passive victim of negative spiritual influences, he learned to consciously elevate his vibration before sleep through specific prayers, meditation techniques, and visualization practices designed to attract protective spiritual guides and ensure safe passage through higher dimensional realms. The hidden truth about spiritual protection during soul travel is that your consciousness naturally gravitates toward dimensional frequencies that match your emotional and spiritual state. When you approach sleep with fear, anger, resentment, or spiritual negativity, your soul becomes vulnerable to encounters with entities that vibrate at those same low frequencies. However, when you cultivate love, gratitude, spiritual devotion, and conscious intention for protection, your soul automatically ascends to higher realms where beneficial beings provide guidance, healing, and spiritual education. Now, I want to share with you the specific techniques that Dr. Reed recommended for ensuring safe and beneficial soul travel experiences. These practices represent practical spiritual technology that anyone can implement to transform their sleep from potential vulnerability into powerful opportunity for healing, growth, and connection with divine consciousness. Write in the comments, "I choose protection," if you're ready to learn how to safeguard your soul's nightly journeys and ensure your sleep experiences contribute to your healing and spiritual growth. The practical spiritual techniques that Dr. Reed developed for ensuring safe and beneficial soul travel represent a complete transformation in how we can approach sleep preparation. Rather than simply lying down and hoping for restful dreams, he recommended specific meditation and prayer routines performed before sleep to elevate your soul's vibration and attract protective spiritual guides during nocturnal journeys. These aren't complex rituals requiring years of training but simple, powerful practices that anyone can implement immediately to revolutionize their nightly spiritual experiences. The journey toward conscious soul protection begins with understanding that your mental and emotional state at bedtime directly influences which spiritual realms your consciousness will access during sleep. The decisions you make about clearing negative thoughts, expressing gratitude, and connecting with divine love create energetic conditions that naturally repel lower vibrational entities, while attracting benevolent spiritual teachers and guides who can enhance your soul's educational experiences. Behind the scenes of effective spiritual protection, Dr. Reed emphasized the importance of sincere prayer for guidance and safety. Visualizing yourself surrounded by protective white light, and specifically requesting that only beings of the highest good be allowed to interact with your consciousness during sleep. The impact of these simple practices extends far beyond protection, actually accelerating your spiritual development by ensuring that your soul's nightly journeys occur in the most beneficial spiritual environments possible. The hidden truth about pre-sleep spiritual preparation is that it transforms you from a passive recipient of whatever spiritual experiences happen to occur into an active participant who can influence the quality and direction of your soul's travels. The transformation that results from conscious sleep preparation manifests as more meaningful dreams, enhanced intuition upon waking, and a general sense of being spiritually guided and protected throughout your daily life. Now, I want to reveal something even more empowering about conscious participation in your soul's nightly adventures. Through reading 372-16, Dr. Reed discovered that individuals who set conscious intentions to remember their soul travels before sleep can actively participate in their spiritual development rather than remaining passive recipients of cosmic education. This revelation opens up extraordinary possibilities for accelerated spiritual growth and conscious collaboration with your soul's evolutionary journey. The journey toward conscious participation requires shifting your mindset from viewing sleep as unconscious downtime to recognizing it as your most spiritually active period, when you can consciously request specific types of spiritual education, healing experiences, or guidance about life challenges. The decisions you make about setting clear intentions before sleep directly influence your soul's choices about which realms to visit, which spiritual teachers to learn from, and which healing experiences to prioritize during its nightly travels. Behind the scenes of conscious intention setting, your soul responds to sincere spiritual desire by sharing more of its experiences with your conscious mind, gradually building a bridge between your everyday awareness and your cosmic consciousness. The impact of this collaboration between conscious intention and soul wisdom creates a feedback loop that accelerates both your spiritual development and your ability to remember and apply the insights gained through nightly spiritual journeys. Write in the comments, "I set my intention," if you're ready to begin actively collaborating with your soul's nightly journeys through conscious preparation and clear spiritual intentions. The profound implications of conscious cooperation with your soul's nightly journeys become evident when we examine Dr. Reed's findings about accelerated spiritual development. Through reading 246-47, he revealed that souls who consciously cooperate with their spiritual travels don't just passively receive cosmic education, but actually accelerate their spiritual evolution exponentially, becoming active participants in consciousness expansion rather than mere observers of spiritual phenomena. The transformation that occurs through conscious cooperation represents a quantum leap in how spiritual development unfolds. Rather than waiting years or decades for gradual spiritual awakening, individuals who actively collaborate with their soul's nightly agenda can compress lifetimes of spiritual learning into months or years of focused practice. The impact of this accelerated development extends into every aspect of your existence, enhancing your intuition, creativity, emotional intelligence, and ability to navigate life's challenges with wisdom and grace. Behind the scenes of accelerated spiritual evolution, your conscious mind begins to merge more fully with your soul's cosmic awareness, creating an integrated consciousness that operates effectively in both physical and spiritual dimensions. The decisions you make about embracing this cooperative relationship with your soul fundamentally alter your life trajectory, opening doorways to opportunities, relationships, and experiences that align perfectly with your highest spiritual purpose and potential. The hidden truth about this cooperation is that it transforms your entire relationship with existence itself. Instead of feeling like a victim of circumstances or someone struggling to understand life's meaning, you begin to recognize yourself as a conscious co-creator, working in partnership with cosmic forces to fulfill your soul's mission on Earth. The journey toward this integrated awareness requires commitment and practice, but the results represent the most meaningful transformation possible for human consciousness. Now, I want to emphasize something that could revolutionize how you approach every single night of your life. Dr. Reed's research reveals that sleep represents your spiritual prime time, when every moment offers profound opportunities for spiritual growth, healing, and connection with higher dimensions of consciousness and universal wisdom. This understanding completely reframes the 8 hours you spend sleeping from necessary downtime into your most spiritually productive period of each day. The revelations about sleep as spiritual prime time mean that you're literally wasting the most powerful spiritual technology available to human consciousness if you approach bedtime without conscious intention and preparation. The transformation that occurs when you begin treating sleep as sacred time for cosmic education and soul development can accelerate your spiritual evolution more rapidly than any other practice or discipline. Behind the scenes of what appears to be ordinary rest, your consciousness has the potential to access universal wisdom, receive healing energy from spiritual masters, resolve karmic patterns from past lives, and download guidance about your life purpose and spiritual mission. The impact of recognizing sleep's true potential transforms your entire relationship with rest, making bedtime an anticipated opportunity for spiritual adventure rather than simple physical recovery. The decisions you make about how to approach your nightly spiritual opportunities will determine whether you remain unconscious of your soul's magnificent journeys or become an active participant in the most extraordinary education system in the universe. Write in the comments, "Every night is sacred," if you're beginning to understand the incredible spiritual potential that awaits you each time you close your eyes. The most profound and paradigm-shifting revelation from Dr. Reid's extensive research fundamentally challenges everything our culture teaches us about the nature of reality itself. Through reading 68543, he discovered that soul experiences during sleep are actually more real and more significant than most waking experiences, because spiritual realms represent the eternal fundamental reality, while physical existence represents a temporary and largely illusory experience designed for specific learning purposes. This hidden truth completely inverts our conventional understanding of what constitutes primary reality versus secondary experience. The transformation that occurs when you fully grasp this concept revolutionizes your entire mindset about life, death, purpose, and identity. Rather than viewing your physical existence as the real experience and spiritual encounters as imagination or wishful thinking, you begin to recognize that your soul's journeys through spiritual dimensions represent your authentic existence, while your physical incarnation serves as a temporary classroom for specific lessons your consciousness needs to master. Behind the scenes of what appears to be ordinary daily life, you're actually participating in an elaborate educational simulation designed to help your eternal soul develop specific qualities, resolve karmic patterns, and contribute to the collective evolution of consciousness. The decisions you make in physical reality matter tremendously, but they matter because of how they affect your soul's eternal journey, not because physical achievements or possessions have lasting significance in themselves. The journey toward understanding this inverted reality paradigm requires releasing attachment to the illusion that material success, physical comfort, or earthly relationships represent your ultimate purpose or fulfillment. The impact of embracing spiritual reality as primary fundamentally shifts your priorities, helping you make choices based on eternal significance rather than temporary gratification or social expectations. Now, I want to explore the equally revolutionary understanding that your spiritual encounters during sleep are not secondary experiences or symbolic representations, but primary revelations of your true identity as an eternal spiritual being. This recognition transforms dreams from psychological curiosities into direct communications from your authentic self about your real nature, purpose, and cosmic relationships. The revelations about dreams as primary experiences mean that your most profound spiritual dreams represent moments when the veil between your temporary physical identity and your eternal soul consciousness becomes thin enough for authentic communication to occur. These aren't metaphorical or symbolic messages, but direct transmissions from your true self about the magnificent reality of your spiritual existence and cosmic mission. Behind the scenes of what appears to be symbolic dream imagery, your soul is actually sharing glimpses of your real identity, your eternal relationships with other souls, your cosmic purpose, and the infinite love that represents your true nature. The transformation that occurs when you recognize these experiences as authentic rather than imaginary opens doorways to profound self-understanding and spiritual empowerment that can revolutionize every aspect of your earthly existence. The hidden truth about primary spiritual experiences is that they're always available to you, not just during sleep, but whenever you create space for your authentic soul consciousness to emerge beyond the noise of physical world distractions and social conditioning. Write in the comments, "I am eternal," if you're beginning to recognize your spiritual experiences as glimpses of your true identity beyond physical existence. The most liberating transformation that emerges from understanding your soul's nightly journeys is the complete elimination of death anxiety and the profound peace that comes from recognizing the continuous nature of consciousness beyond physical existence. When you truly comprehend that your soul travels through spiritual dimensions every single night, leaving your body and returning safely each morning, the fear of death simply dissolves because you realize you've been practicing this transition thousands of times throughout your life. The hidden truth about death anxiety is that it stems from the illusion that consciousness is somehow trapped within physical matter and will cease to exist when the body dies. The journey toward freedom from this fear requires understanding that what you call death is simply your soul's final departure from a temporary physical vehicle, no different from the nightly separations you've experienced during every sleep cycle. The impact of this realization fundamentally transforms your relationship with mortality, replacing fear with curiosity about the magnificent adventure that awaits your consciousness beyond physical limitations. Behind the scenes of your nightly sleep experiences, you're receiving ongoing education about the eternal nature of your true self. Each time your soul travels through spiritual dimensions and returns to your physical body, you're gathering evidence that consciousness transcends material existence and continues its journey regardless of physical circumstances. The decisions you make about embracing this evidence rather than dismissing it as mere dreaming can liberate you from one of humanity's most persistent sources of anxiety and suffering. The revelations about your soul's nightly return home illuminate the profound truth that every sleep cycle represents a temporary reunion with your authentic spiritual family and cosmic origins. Every night, your consciousness returns to the spiritual home dimensions where you belong eternally, reconnecting with the infinite love, wisdom, and peace that represent your true nature. Every morning, you wake carrying fragments of eternity within your consciousness, bringing back traces of divine love and cosmic wisdom that gradually transform your earthly existence. The transformation that occurs when you recognize sleep as homecoming rather than unconsciousness shifts your entire mindset about rest, dreams, and spiritual connection. Rather than viewing bedtime as the end of your daily experience, you begin to anticipate it as a return to your real family, your authentic identity, and the infinite love that sustains your soul's eternal journey. The impact of this recognition makes each morning feel like a mission, assignment, where you bring fragments of heavenly consciousness into earthly circumstances to serve the greater good. Behind the scenes of what appears to be ordinary waking up, you're actually returning from cosmic adventures, carrying spiritual treasures that can heal, inspire, and transform not only your own life, but the lives of everyone you encounter. The decisions you make about honoring and cultivating these fragments of eternity determine how effectively you can serve as a bridge between heaven and earth in your daily interactions. Now, I want to share with you the ultimate revelation that ties together everything we've explored about your soul's magnificent nightly journeys, and what this means for your fundamental understanding of who you really are. Write in the comments, "I am going home," if this understanding of sleep as spiritual homecoming resonates with your deepest sense of truth about consciousness and eternity. The ultimate revelation that emerges from Dr. Reid's comprehensive research about soul travel fundamentally redefines your understanding of personal identity and existence itself. The hidden truth that transforms everything is recognizing that you are not a physical being who occasionally has spiritual experiences, but rather a spiritual being who is temporarily experiencing physical incarnation and material reality for specific educational and evolutionary purposes. This complete inversion of identity understanding represents the most profound transformation possible for human consciousness. When you truly grasp that your authentic self is the eternal soul that travels through cosmic dimensions each night, while your physical personality represents a temporary costume worn for this particular lifetime's lessons, Every decision you make shifts from ego-driven choices to soul-guided decisions aligned with your eternal purpose and spiritual mission. Behind the scenes of what appears to be ordinary human existence, you're actually a magnificent spiritual being who chose to incarnate in physical form to contribute to the collective evolution of consciousness on Earth. The journey toward embracing this truth requires releasing attachment to the illusion that your temporary physical identity represents your real self, and instead recognizing that your nightly soul travels reveal glimpses of your authentic eternal nature. The impact of understanding your true spiritual identity extends far beyond personal transformation, empowering you to approach life's challenges with cosmic perspective and infinite patience. Rather than feeling like a victim of circumstances or someone struggling to find meaning in random experiences, you begin to recognize yourself as a conscious participant in a carefully orchestrated spiritual curriculum, designed to accelerate your soul's evolution and service to others. Now, I want to share with you the practical applications that can transform tonight's sleep experience, and every night thereafter into conscious collaboration with your soul's magnificent journey. The transformation begins with simple but powerful practices performed before sleep. Acknowledging your soul's upcoming journey, setting clear intentions to remember your spiritual travels, asking for divine guidance and protection, and most importantly, trusting completely in the loving cosmic forces that guide your evolution. The decisions you make about implementing these pre-sleep practices can revolutionize your entire spiritual development, creating a bridge between your conscious awareness and your soul's cosmic adventures. Behind the scenes of what appears to be simple bedtime routine, you're actually establishing conscious communication with your higher self and spiritual guides, requesting specific types of spiritual education, healing experiences, or guidance about life challenges that need resolution. The hidden truth about conscious intention setting is that your soul responds immediately and powerfully to sincere spiritual desire. When you approach sleep with reverence, gratitude, and specific requests for spiritual growth, your consciousness naturally gravitates toward the most beneficial spiritual realms and educational experiences available for your current level of development. The journey toward conscious soul travel begins with tonight's sleep experience, where you can start implementing these practices and begin building the bridge between your earthly awareness and your cosmic consciousness. Write in the comments, "I know who I am," if you're ready to embrace your true identity as an eternal spiritual being and begin consciously collaborating with your soul's nightly adventures. If you've stayed with me through this entire exploration of your soul's nightly adventures, then something profound has shifted in your understanding of consciousness, sleep, and your true spiritual nature. The fact that you're still here tells me that your soul recognizes the truth in these revelations and is ready to begin consciously participating in the magnificent cosmic education that awaits you every single night. This journey we've taken together through Dr. Reed's documented discoveries represents just the beginning of what's possible when you approach sleep as sacred time for spiritual growth and cosmic connection. I create content like this because I believe you deserve to understand the extraordinary spiritual being you truly are, beyond the limitations that society places on human potential and consciousness. If this exploration has opened new doorways in your mind and heart, I'd love for you to join our community of conscious souls by subscribing to this channel. Every video is designed to help you remember your true spiritual nature and provide practical guidance for living as the magnificent eternal being you've always been. Let me know you made it to the end by commenting, "My soul remembers," below. When I see those words, I'll know that another beautiful soul has awakened to the truth of their nightly spiritual journeys. And if you felt that connection we've built through these revelations, a simple like tells me this message reached the right person at exactly the right time. There's a video right here that complements this topic perfectly, exploring how to enhance your psychic abilities through dream work and spiritual practice. Click and continue with me over there, because your spiritual awakening is just beginning, and I have so much more to share with you about the incredible journey ahead.